way.
Good
Oh,
job,
wow!
team. Get ready for the next round.
No, it's just that, like, what do you get?
No, you missed
Yeah.
your pack.
They just don't like each other too much, yeah.
You shot him through.
Half.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is the second part of my series talking about the time I got a DUI and I went to Tent City, Arizona. If you guys haven't seen the first one, I'll put a link in the description to the first one. I don't know if there's gonna be a second one. I think I might be able to cover everything in this commentary, but also watch the gameplay, guys. This is hilarious. I go 18-3 knifing only on Karachi, and there's also some epic moments, so I'm gonna have to stop the video at some point in time to show you guys some of the hilarious reactions that happen in this. So if I stop the game, don't be mad. I just thought they'd be entertaining to watch and listen to. So okay, so I got in the tent, and these guys, they asked me to join their gang, the little indoor gang. I don't know, their little jail gang or whatever. And it's kind of like high school. When you go in, depending on the way you look, depending on the attributes of your physical body, you are automatically placed in a group. And in Tent City, there are a bunch of different groups. There are the white groups. There are like the Mexican American groups. There are like the Mexican groups. And yes, there are people that there is a difference. I mean, there's all kinds of groups in there. So, there's you just have to, I don't know, you just have to accept who you are. And especially when you go in and when you're put in an environment like that, especially when the tension's high and there's guards everywhere and you never know what's gonna go off. Sometimes a jail riot might happen. And right here's where I'm talking about where the reaction is. Then I'll go deep into the story. But this guy quick scopes me. I don't know. Well, he hard scopes me, and then right here my boy Joker goes in. I'll let you listen to this.
Oh, sneaker only. Oh, that would have been epic.
Get him, Joker.
Oh.
This is so hilarious. Oh, you got him.
Get ready for the next round.
I thought that was hilarious.
Oh. Yes. Yes.
Smack me right in my jaw.
My mic's on.
Search and destroy.
I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, okay, so when you get into Tent City, you are basically given this very thin styrofoam that you use as a bed. They say it's your mattress, but it's not really a mattress. It's just like a piece of foam, and it's wrapped in like I don't know, just a regular sheet, and then they give you a top sheet, and then they give you a blanket. And at that time, it was a little bit chilly. It wasn't, as hot as it normally is, but it's never really cold. So you don't really have to worry about being freezing to death or anything like that. Plus, you're in during wintertime, I'm sure there's a tent full of like 30 people, so it doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna be warm. Everyone's breathing and stuff. And another thing is, there was this kid that used to go in. He was like 18 or something. And he was in there, and he did not take showers. And I remember he was a big guy, so his feet used to hang off the bunk. And and the bunk is made out of steel, and it's just basically like a flat piece of sheet metal. And then you lay your little like mattress on top of it, and then they're bunk beds, and they're really they're just really basic, and they're not comfortable at all. They're not even comfortable to sit on. But anyway, this guy was fucking nasty smelling. He was horrible as shit. He was as horrible as this guy running from me in the game. I'm just playing. No, but he was his feet were the nastiest feet I've ever smelled in my life, and he had his, and we're in this tent. These guys are all breathing around, and it stinks, you know, just let alone the smell of just the other like men in the room, and then there's this kid in there with this horrible stench, and he did not take showers, and I actually gave him a ride. Because he didn't have a ride. His mom and his dad wasn't gonna give him a ride home, so I gave him a ride home after all that. So I was trying to be nice, even though I know that I'm picking up someone who's in jail. But this guy was an 18-year-old kid. There's nothing he's gonna do to me. But he stank. And I remember one night, I came in and he was smelling extra bad, and his feet were right next to the fan. They put him right next on the top bunk, right next to the fan. And it was blowing in, and everybody was like pissed off at him. I was like, dude, and some guy I heard some guy even punched him in the face and told him that he needs to take a shower. I mean, that was crazy. Like, if you do anything wrong, you basically just get punched in the face. There's no like, and it'll be from other jailers, because there's kind of, like I said in the past commentary, there's a camaraderie amongst the prisoners, and the camaraderie is that even though you guys are all like against each other because of your race, there's still like a you still don't like the guards. I mean, it's always the prisoners versus the guards before the prisoners versus the prisoners, and the guards always try. I heard the guards always try to insinuate violence between you know, each race or whatever, but I didn't really see that. I just saw that everyone was in a really bad situation, and everyone was just, you know, trying to hold up on their own, like they're, you know, trying to be as safe as possible. I know the guys that I was that I hung around with basically in there, they were not like bad people. The guy that was my bunkmate or whatever, he's the one who taught me all the ways of staying comfortable in the jail. And he was basically the person who I talked to the entire time I was there. I didn't leave his side, really. Even when it came down to lunch, I would only go if he would go, and he definitely ate the food. I didn't. Oh my God, this food was horrible. This guy, it was not, when I was in the jail, the regular jail, like thrown into the city one or whatever, that one, they gave us Hungry Man's. In here, they give you like the nastiest, like, I don't even know. It was like mystery meat times two. Like, I remember I asked the guy like what they made this, because they gave us this like weird meat, and I had no clue what it was, and I tasted it, but I didn't eat all of it. I almost threw up because it was just so nasty. And apparently they get donated food, any leftover, any surplus food from any sort of really shitty like grocery store that's about to go bad or whatever. They'll just give it to the prison, and then the prison will feed it to people, feed it to the jailers. And I heard they only spend like, I mean, it's a minuscule amount of money they spend to feed people in prison, but it's not like, I don't know, I think it's inhumane, especially feeding them that shit. I mean, they basically fed you like corned beef hash. I don't know if you guys know what that is, mixed in with like Spam, and it was, I remember one time they had Hungry Joe's mixed in with corned beef hash, and it just didn't look right. It was just so bad. Anyway, aside from that, there was the prison guards. They would come in and they would do these searches on your tents. And I remember one time, well, actually, it happened almost every night. They would like shoot a shotgun off, and that basically told everybody to wake up. And it was loud. You were not, even if you were a heavy sleeper, you were gonna wake up if you hear a fucking shotgun outside a tent, like a really thin tent, and you hear like a loud, thunderous boom. You are going to wake up. I don't care who you are. And everybody in our tent would get up, and you have to get off your bed no matter what. And there was this guy in there who had a broken leg, and his leg was in a shitty cast. Like he didn't, I don't even think he went to the doctor. I think he just got a cast or something, because and I remember it was like it was wrapped in bandages, and you could see blood on his pants. That's how bad it was. And he was trying to walk in it, and he had these stilts, and I felt so bad for him. And I was like, man, how, and the guards were like giving him shit for not getting off the bunk bed fast enough. And I'm like, dude, I wanted to say something, like I wanted to say like, come on, man, he's like in stilts, like, and he's on the top bunk. Why would you be so mean and issue this guy to be on the top bunk if you knew that he was injured like that? So the guy on the bottom bunk, he actually risked his own. You have to be in your right bunk bed, and you have to have your ID out, and you have to put it on top of your bunk. Anytime there's any of those raids, so they can check you out and make sure you're in the tent, make sure you're there. They make sure they check everything. They check all your stuff. They look inside the tent. They thoroughly look in. They bring a dog in. They just check everything in the tent. And I remember like this guy, his bunkmate actually gave him the bottom bunk so he wouldn't have to rest on, he wouldn't have to climb up and down on his. And this guy, he like dodged so many bullets, because if you are not in your bunk and somebody else is in there when this raid happens, then you are screwed, because they tell you too when to get in your bunk. It's not like they're gonna randomly do it, but this guy would jump off his bed, climb up on top, and he had his leg was, you could tell he was hurting. And they would, these guys would like switch beds, and I don't know, it was just so crazy watching someone like that suffer. And then I know the guy just didn't even come back like the next day, because he had work release as well, and he did not come back to jail. Either that or he went to the prison part. And if you have a medical condition, or if you need special, if you have special needs, you automatically get put in the actual prison, because there they have doctors that can take care of you. And they definitely, I'm sure they're shitty doctors, and I'm sure like they don't really help you out, but they definitely watch you there. And that's where they have like the medical part of the prison. And I'm sure, I don't know, that guy either got put in there or he just was gone the next day. I remember him not even being there, because he was there when I was registering as well. He's registering with me, and he was kind of a mean guy, because I was talking to this one guy. there's a lot of mean people in jail, but this is just a common man jail, so it's not like everyone's a criminal. But I remember, like, I was talking to this radio announcer guy that was in there, and he was loud. He was a pretty loud guy, but everyone was in there. Everyone was miserable, and this guy just yells. He's just like, "Shut the fuck up!" And he just got pissed off at this guy, I guess. And there's arguments, and the radio broadcaster was huge, and he was just like, "Oh, okay, man, oh, okay." And this other guy wasn't even that small, but he definitely looked like he was, like a thug or something, like a gangster or whatever. And that just happens, and I'm sure he was going through a shitty moment, like his leg was hurting and stuff. So it was bad. I'll tell you guys some more after on the next part. Peace out. Have an epic day.
Goddamn, girl, you got a fat ass.
Hey, instead of sitting here spanking the monkey, why don't you go ahead and like my boy GFXLab on Facebook. www.facebook.com/GFXLab. Thank you.